Did you know CIB participated in the 6th Montana Economic Development Jobs Summit? The CIB's trade show Exhibit 54 was magnificent. Executive Officer Ross Douglas networked with Google manager Eric Schmidt on live television. Google executive Eric Schmidt's knowledge of construction, expertise in technology, and investor relationship with Kleiner Perkins Caulfield and Byers made the link in the chain connection for CIB. Google manager wants to work with CIB. The CIB agency net worth is creating 46,000 jobs in Montana and abroad.
Get ready to energize, monetize, and capitalize the construction industry. Learn to train, educate, and innovate your employees. Want to learn to impress employers? Then this show is for you. Sponsorship opportunities available for the Montana Contractor Trades Network and Builders, Merchants, Innovators, and Bankers Network. To inquire, go to cibmontana.com. Available in your city: Billings, Bozeman, Butte, Columbia Falls, Glendive, Great Falls, Havre, Helena, Libby, Livingston, Missoula, Polson, and Whitefish. The CIB Google Innovative Technology Show and Workshops was inspired by the Montana Economic Development Jobs Summit. Senator Max Baucus and staff, Google Executive Chairman Dr. Eric Schmidt, Kleiner Perkins Caulfield and Byers Trey Vassalo, and Sequoia Capital Michael Gogan.
Hello and welcome to the Google Innovative Technology Show. I'm your host, Rasta K. Waleed, aka Ross Douglas, Montana Master Electrician, Unlimited Electrical Contractor, Registered Contractor, Independent Contractor, and CEO and co-founder of the Contractors Information Bureau. The GIT show was inspired by Senator Max Baucus and staff, Google Executive Chairman Dr. Eric Schmidt, Kleiner Perkins Caulfield and Byers Trey Vassalo, Sequoia Capital Mike Gogan, Liz Marquis Angel Investor, and Jim O'Donnell Tech Ranch Executive Director. And of course, the 45,000 Montana construction contractor trades licensed and registered in Montana. Contractors Information Bureau's participation in the 6th Annual Montana Economic Development Job Summit in Butte. What a wonderful show. Google was there, PayPal, Facebook, Boeing, Conoco, Oracle, FedEx, Delta, Ford, Hewlett-Packard, and a whole gang of entrepreneurs looking for valuable information on high-tech startups, fast-growing companies, but most of all, the main discussion was innovation and networks. How does Montana compete with the global market economy? And it's only by innovation. Enjoy the show.
Thank you, John. Thanks so much. It says, I think I'm but superfluous right now. I'm supposed to introduce someone whom you've all Googled and know all about already, and even more than I know. My wife, Mel, just got off the phone, literally just 5 minutes with her. She's trying to get back to Washington, D.C. She's on Salt Lake Airport. And she said, well, I'll just find out about the conference. I'll just go to my Google alert of MontanaJobSummit.com. I'll find what's going on. I says, well, be careful. We're just flooded with stories. If you go to your Google alert, there are just so many stories. It's almost impossible to catch up. And that's because of all of you. You've really made this summit work. That's super. It's really terrific. I'll keep this short. You want to hear from Eric. He said something pretty interesting, I thought, about an hour ago. Basically, the business model that really works in creating jobs is basically startups, small businesses who grow fast. And he had lots of ideas on how you do that. I get the capital and marketing and online and so forth. It's just listening to him. We've been to several sessions the last hour here. You want to get inside that mind. His mind is just wired different too. He's just so smart. It's just so much fun. All of us have a little bit of propeller head in us. When I listen to him, my propeller starts twirling pretty fast. So anyway, big round of applause for Google Executive Chairman Eric Schmidt.
Senator. Yeah, good. Listen. Okay, good, perfect. I love Montana. I love everything about Montana. I like the people. I have a couple of houses here. I vacation in Montana, so what a welcome. And now I see why I really want to be here, which is the people who are here trying to make the world a better place. I've worked with Max, Senator Baucus, for many, many years. There is no finer public servant than your senator. What can I say? So, speaking here to be honest, what I really want to do is talk about economics. And to be honest, I'm concerned that economists are going to need to invent a new politics, a new doctrine, right? The logic of politics and government are colliding with the efficiency of globalized technology and distribution networks. And we thought they're disrupting everything that we thought about growing local economies, right? By the way, Montana economy seems to be beating the national averages. Congratulations. Statewide unemployment is less than 6%. Real wage growth is pretty strong across the state. But Montana, like everywhere else, has to compete in the global market. And the global economics trends that we see portend dramatic changes ahead. The analysis you get in reading current economics is very pessimistic. And even worse, politicians seem to lack coherent plans to fix these. So let me give you some examples. Unemployment, especially youth unemployment, is intractable in mature democracies. In Europe, youth unemployment is 23%, and in some countries, Spain is 50%, Greece is 65%, and not much else seems to be working. Now in the US, things are somewhat better, but still bad. Less than 60% of Americans now have a job, and youth unemployment is at 16%. You only have to look at Japan, right, to see what happens in a society when youth unemployment becomes the norm. You have a lost generation. And second, globalization is leading to a hollowing out of stable middle-class jobs. Certainly in the U.S. and in Europe. While high and low skill jobs are doing fine, right, the jobs in the middle skill range, which a lot of our citizens here are in, have fallen over the last 15 years due to globalization. And manufacturing jobs, once a driver of U.S. economy, have shifted overseas to lower wage things, and on and on and on. You know all of this. So I've got a couple of examples of sort of new models of work. Odesk and Elance are online employers, right? So they're interesting. People are flocking to them. They claim to employ over 4 million coders, web designers, marketing professionals, and other workers between them. Odesk says that their contractors worked 8.5 million hours. The average freelancer at Elance expects to make 43% more money in 2013. So people are moving online, but the jobs are not necessarily being created to replace the old job. There's another problem, right? Sorry to sort of start with all the problems, but I think let's just get it out there. With demographic changes, lower unemployment, fewer people will be supporting more people, right? The census pop clock shows the bulge of baby boomers approaching their 60s and 70s. In Europe, aging is so well known that it has its own Wikipedia page, Europe Getting Older, right? The IMF projects that in 2013, the ratio of workers to retired people will have to shrink by half so that only 2 workers support 1 retiree. More than 1 in 5 Japanese are over the age of 65, and that'll soon become 1 in 4, right? So when China, of course, makes it completely worse with this disastrous one-child policy. Another problem we're seeing is a new trend for companies to invest in capital ahead of people, right? For the right reasons in many cases. In a recent book, the people argued that historically when companies' profits have grown, they've earned their profits and then they have reinvested those profits in capital and workers, and they've hired people. But following the recession in 2007 and 2008, unemployment has remained stubbornly high, 9% as you know, and we're not showing a lot of progress in addressing it. So worse, the unemployment are staying unemployed longer, right? Also not good. So investment in capital, however, right, the money for infrastructure and machines and so forth, has bounced back to 95% of its historic high. So capital before people, not necessarily the best choice for our society. And then there's another potential, which is even more bizarre, but I should point it out, that there's a potential for us to make governments more efficient. Right? We're all working, and my company is certainly trying to do this, and try to make their productivity better in the same sense as you saw in the private sector. But if you make the public sector more productive, perhaps you will be employing fewer people and certainly will create fewer new jobs. So you have this perverse problem of private sector jobs not creating and public sector becoming more efficient. Not good. So before we sort of sink into this sort of sort of despicable, terrible state, right? There is actually an alternative model. I say what I said because these are the economic facts, and this is what you see on television. But I would suggest that there's a different way of looking at this, which is to take the view of an optimist. What's going on in my world? Completely new ways of thinking about artificial intelligence. Latency, the speed with which things are occurring, occurs much faster. We're rethinking transportation with self-driving cars. If you're spending time in cities that are very crowded, think New York or LA or whatever, look around you, the streets are incredibly clogged, the airspace is pretty empty. So again, new modes of transportation, personal transportation in the air, and things like this. But most importantly, we're busy making you smarter, that your IQ literally goes up because the tools and the techniques that Google and other companies are providing, they just make you a smarter, better worker, obviously your entertainment is better, you're a better educator, and so forth and so on. So that's an optimistic view. So how do we square these two views together? Well, I think that the future of work is in fact going to be great for humans. It's not going to be bad. And I think that it starts with innovation. That's what this conference is about. It's flourishing, right? And technological innovation, invention in particular, has driven almost all human progress and tremendous economic growth over the centuries. Right? If you look back over history between 5000 BC and 1800, world GDP per capita about doubled over 2,000 years. That would be the definition of low growth, right? Nothing ever changed except you were in a war, right? But in the last 200 years, with the start of the Industrial Revolution, per capita GDP has gone up by a factor of 33. Now you often, and by the way, if anybody wants to go back to 200 years ago, just think dentistry, right?
Hi, I'm Ross Douglas with the Montana Contractors Information Bureau, and I'm here to talk briefly about the Construction Industry Disposition 2015. 30% of our workforce left Montana and left the industry in 2007 in the beginning of the recession to find employment and other things elsewhere to feed their families here in Montana and outside of Montana. Fortunately, according to the Montana's GDP for all of the industries, the construction industry is the fastest growing industry in Montana. Of course, that information can be verified by the Montana Department of Labor and the Industries for the financial data.
Want to activate a CIB program in your city, county, state, or federal jurisdiction? It's great for building, electrical, plumbing, and mechanical permit departments, professional and occupational licensing and registration programs, DBE and protege programs, and Secretary of State compliance departments. Our Commerce Executive Officer, Ross Douglas, can get the ball rolling. Please ask for Ross Douglas, and he'll be glad to work with you.
Now people are always saying, oh, it's different today and so forth and so on. The technology is reducing the need for human unemployment, but that's not just borne out by the facts. Over the course of this last day, you've had a chance to hear from shining examples, right, of what a friend of mine, Hal Varians, calls micro multinationals right here in Montana. Right? In fact, I just met with a whole bunch. These are people who are based in Montana who think that their market is the globe. They didn't even start with the country. Right? This is exactly the kind of thinking that I want to see. And these successes, you don't have to be just a city or a state. You don't need to be a tech hub. You can actually use the technology where you are, right? With a combination of broadband, which you all need to improve, especially for rural areas, especially for people who are sort of far from the cities here in Montana. But even small companies in remote parts of the web are using the web to grow. I mean, that's how profound this is. And as these small micronationals grow, they raise local demand in Montana for other jobs, right? So there's an Italian economist whose name is Enrico Moretti, who's found that for each high-tech job, 5 additional jobs are created outside the high-tech center in the city or the town, both in skilled occupation, these are lawyers and teachers, nurses, but also unskilled ones, waiters, hairdressers, what have you. And second, technology will continue not just to create more jobs, but better jobs. Imagine a 19th century worker or even an early 20th century office worker walking into the office of a Silicon Valley office today. They didn't do any of the instant access to communication, they didn't use computers and so forth, the writing of code. It's always hard for us to imagine the big changes that will come because of the infrastructure that we're building here, right? Because our minds are linear, we sort of extrapolate from what we've seen. But the history in my industry, and I think in others that are disruptive, is literally it changes everything, right? When was the last time you didn't take your cell phone to a meeting? 1990, because that's when they were invented, right? You forget you were alive then, okay? You get the idea. But there's no reason to suppose that what we describe as work today will be the primary form of work tomorrow. The changes that we're seeing now are really about the rise of network power and the rise of computing. Network intelligence brings many, many things, and computers get much, much better at answering general questions. We say general task intelligence increases alongside task-specific intelligence, how we describe it. So this notion of smart computers can seem sexy, Because we think of computing as creating a reduction of labor. And sometimes, of course, it does. But more often, it's a collaboration of labor, right? You and the computer doing something together, you being more productive. Whenever you talk about economics, it's sort of a rule that you have to quote Adam Smith. So the title of The Wealth of Nations, third chapter, is that the division of labor is limited by the extent of the market. Adam Smith was talking about specialization in jobs. But the core issue, he's still right, that the core issue of globalization is there's no other planet that we can go conquer, right? We can't go create the job somewhere else and move the unemployed to that planet. We've got to build the current model and make it into this new model, or the current model of specialization will in fact fail because the pessimists will be proven right. And the current model will produce lagging returns. Now, so computers accelerate the development of these specialized skills, right? The sort of the creativity that you're describing, to the point that future computers might be able to help a person better explain our best talent, right? And future networks may have as members the people who have that talent. In other words, detection of talent becomes a computing problem. The computer can say, these people really are better. Go hire them now. Get them to Montana, we need them here. And we'll still need people in lots of other ways. Planes will still need pilots for all sorts of good reason, but airplanes are safer because of the computers that are in them. The elderly still need caretakers. Right? Those carers are just much more effective because the automation and monitoring and equipment that they use. Computers helping us optimize our skill sets so that we can retrain and get better jobs. And I think this is incredibly important. Technology and innovation can help reverse the decades of ever longer and harder work that's placing such a strain on families and in particular young moms today. So when I look at this, I say that the knowledge economy has led to longer work hours in much of the developed world, and some say has reduced to human connectedness by putting us in front of screens rather than other people. My prediction is that the knowledge economy is likely to be replaced by
Using innovative Google technologies works for the construction industry, contractor trades, professionals, government, consumers, and individuals. If you want to learn how to start using innovative Google technologies to increase your construction industry job or project opportunity needs and internet presence, contact the Contractors Information Bureau Executive Department and we will arrange to create some classes in your area. The Contractors Information Bureau uses innovative Google technologies: Google Voice, Gmail, YouTube, Google Drive for documents, creating presentations and spreadsheets, Google+, Google Maps, Google Earth, Google Alert, and more. Contact the Montana Contractor Trades Network online. Find us on Facebook at the Contractors Information Bureau, on Twitter at CIB Montana 1, or the CIB agency homepage at www.cibmontana.com. A construction industry innovative service message from CIB.
Construction professionals are the backbone of the construction industry. Consulting, financial, insurance, legal, real estate, management, distributors, organizations, and utilities. If you're with a financial institution or bank considering financing a new construction project, a CIB representative will be glad to help with any background homework you need. A representative will be right back to help.
They say this is a man's job. That smart girls work in offices.
They say there's only one path to success, and it's not this one.
And they say it's difficult,
Dangerous.
and doesn't pay.
but you know what? They're wrong.
Go build, Alabama.
Right now in the United States, there are more than 7 million people working in the construction industry, and less than 10% of those are women. But in a field traditionally dominated by men, more and more women today are choosing a career in the skilled trades and finding that it's more than just a viable option. It's exactly where they were meant to be.
I took the LSAT. I was going to go to law school, and I thought, I don't want to do this. I'd rather do something with my hands. So I thought long and hard about what I loved, and that answer turned out to be fire. And so I signed up for welding school.
My plan was to go to med school, but then once I started working for the toxicology company and I landed on a construction site, then I realized that there was a new world out there. So I decided to pursue the construction industry.
I am a foreman, and I run a motor grader, I run a crew, and we dump base and build parking lots and roads, and I've enjoyed doing it. I love being outside, and I love going from place to place. It's not the same 9-to-5 office job.
First of all, you get to play with molten lava every day. That's pretty awesome. Every weld that I put down, even if it's not a critical weld, I want it to be perfect. And I want it to be beautiful and shiny. And that sounds so silly, but
Well, I tried pipe fitting, I tried electrical. I was made an offer to go into management, and so it kind of landed me where I am now, and I've just been advancing and growing ever since. I feel that construction is a great career choice for a woman because it's high-paying wages. You have the opportunity to better yourself, develop yourself, and to grow.
You can make good money doing construction. If I can raise 3 kids doing it by myself, then yeah, you can make a good living.
there's a greater job market out there. It's a lot easier to find work as not only as a welder, but as a tradesman in general.
You meet new people every day. It's a great opportunity, and I just love what I do.
People are always really surprised when they hear that I'm a welder. It's not a typical thing to see a girl in a welding hood and gloves. So that's always fun. Throw people off a little bit. It's good.
Look at me now. I'm loving it, and I can think of anything I'd rather be doing than to say that I am a proud tradeswoman and that I work in an industry that is a great way to make a life and provide for your family.
Yeah, I see it. It's okay. Because I hit a water line.
Oh, that's not good now, is it?
It's not that bad. All right, thank you. Brake on. And then you haven't done a water line yet, but you have to use this. This is a purple primer,
Oh,
which
that's
cleans
the
the.
pretty one.
I know it's really pretty.
And is this the other pretty one?
Yeah. How did you know?
Lucky guess. It's been a really fun experience, and I've learned a lot from Karen. She has talked to me a lot about how men are competitive with her and how they don't listen to her because she's a female. And I actually saw that firsthand working with her last Wednesday. At this site, we cut into a gas leak, and we told the manager, the camp manager, and he didn't believe Karen. But a second a man told him there was a leak, he was like, oh, okay, we'll fix it. So I feel a little bad for Karen because she is an experienced contractor, and they need to learn that she's just as good as the men.
We need to be heard, and men don't listen to us. So I think that we have to find an alternative way to communicate with men so that they understand what our ideas are and how we can implement them into construction. Because let's face it, we're the ones that are making all the decisions on home buying, designing, what we want. So men, our husbands, boyfriends, brothers, they want to listen to us. So the whole challenge is effective.
Hi, my name is Ann McNeil, and I am the master builder building Stronger and Better Lives. I am also the founder of the National Association of Black Women in Construction, affectionately called NABWIC. And at NABWIC, our vision is to encourage and support young black girls in elementary, junior high school, and college to consider studying STEM in school and consider coming into the construction industry.
Construction contractors, astonish your clients with accurate information about the market sectors you service: residential, commercial, industrial, heavy highway, public works, and Department of Defense. Register with CIB today.
So when I look at this, I say that the knowledge economy has led to longer work hours in much of the developed world, and some say has reduced to human connectedness by putting us in front of screens rather than other people. My prediction is that the knowledge economy is likely to be replaced by a much more nuanced version of human-centric, creative, and caring economies. That this collaboration between us and computers is going to produce new work, especially right here. Now, there's a lot of data to suggest that this existing creative economy has adapted quite successfully to the first phase of digitization. Yes, it's been hard, but they have adapted, right? So there's been growth in the production and revenue, right, of music, video, film, books, video games in the US, France, Germany, Italy, Russia, Spain, and the UK. So even through a decade of economic and technological turmoil, the entertainment industry grew 50%. Good for them. And it was tough. It was absolutely tough as consumers increased spending on entertainment. Good for everybody. We've only begun to imagine the ways in which technology can monetize creative efforts. Not to mention the market for consuming the output. The art world, for example, went from making one print to making 10 prints, right? They sign each one of them, right? So the author gets 10 times as much money. So technology will ultimately, for example, allow you to private stream event different from an event that you attend, and other limited edition kinds of viewings. Kickstarter is an interesting company. Kickstarter and something called Indiegogo have demonstrated that the new model of financing these events is a rise. I like to think of Kickstarter as the 21st century form of the National Endowment of Arts. Here's a creative thing I want to do. I want the community to fund me, and you're out there in the marketplace competing based on the quality of your work, the quality of your ideas, right? Artists can seek these grants to finance their creative pursuits. Think back 20, 30, or 40 years to the way we consumed entertainment as young adults. We sat down to watch TV when the shows we liked were on, or we time shifted using TVs using a VCR. But if you wanted to be a creator, you had to be discovered by a talent scout or an agent. Today, young people can watch what they want when they want. They never know anything different. And would-be entertainers have a potential audience of, well, the whole world through YouTube and other solutions. So the rise of this caring economy that I'm talking about will increase the rewards to humans who care for other humans, right? And we'll do that in collaboration with the computers that we will see. So it's reasonably obvious. You start thinking about health, online health services like the website Cure Together enable users to share data with each other, right? So you help if I'm ill and you're ill and we have the same problem, we can talk about the solutions that we did, similar conditions that connect and provide emotional support. The same thing is sort of a group, but now it's online. There's example after example. We're going to understand more about the human brain and will lead to a growing demand for therapists and psychologists, as well as tools to help monitor moods and well-being. Educators, recent research shows that students do well in a flipped model. I'm on the board of something called the Khan Academy, which is doing this, meaning that they observe lectures online, but then they collaboratively do the homework with other students. Can you imagine that? What a concept. Working with other students, learning together and learning how to think, and having some fun doing it. And by the way, the demand for teachers in that model goes up, not down. So I'm telling you that the jobs we'll be doing in the future will be more fun, right? They'll enable us to connect with other people more than we do today, and that the creative energy that we use will be so unique to us, will be forever.
The Contractors Information Bureau provides accurate, reliable, and unbiased information on all construction contractor trades in the United States. work history and project verification information, OSHA safety records, Bureau of Labor and Industries employee wage complaints, Secretary of State registrations, Occupational Board specialty licensing, state contractor registration information, general liability, bonds, and more. Before you select your construction contractor trades, ask for more information when an agent returns to the line in just a moment.
So I have one final point on job growth and technology. To create these jobs that are rewarding and fun, we need new businesses, right? Recent economic research, and I want to emphasize this to everybody here, has shown that new jobs, net new jobs, come from new firms. And it turns out that new firms that are showing a very healthy rate of growth as the internet lowers barrier to everything else. It's important to distinguish between new firms and small businesses. There are many, many small businesses, and they're honorable and so forth. They're not growing. Big businesses also don't net grow. They're not the same thing. Conventional wisdom is that these small businesses are the source of this new job creation. But it turns out when you control for firm age, it is the fast-growing new companies, right? So what does that tell you, right? You need to be fast-growing in a new company if you really want to solve the job problem. Net new jobs are not created by small businesses, but by new businesses, and in particular, fast-growing ones. This opportunity, as we're seeing more and more entrepreneurialism and risk-taking than ever, with the internet making it easier and easier and easier. We were talking to one woman who was proud to say that she started her company on $400 using some Google products. Right, does not make a better day for me. The fact of the matter is, think about how inexpensive that is. So if policymakers, and I want to sort of deliver a pretty strong message to policymakers here in the room and in the media, if you want to actually solve this problem, you have to have policies that enable new business creation and entrepreneurship, and then we can, in fact, solve this unemployment problem. Think venture capital-based businesses to the max, or venture capital-like businesses. Now, this is hard, of course. It means encouraging disruption. Right? So in the American political system, the disruptors are not at the table with the incumbents. The incumbents have all the lobbyists, the laws are written, it gets very difficult to disrupt. But if you can promote risk-taking, politicians can stimulate growth. We're not doing that enough. America is well positioned to lead here, we're not doing enough. So what are some examples, right? Create some incentives for high-risk investment, tax capital gains at a lower rate, right? Because capital gains are part of that sort of return. Don't make failure a stigma, right? Many of the most successful entrepreneurs in my world failed once or twice, right? There are countries, Germany is the most obvious example, where business failure can put you in jail. That's a serious disincentive to taking risk, right? Like, as nice as the jails are, don't want to go there, right? You get the idea. So if things like this get in the way, and then figuring out a way to make communities of entrepreneurs share best practices and support each other, right? So welcome global trade, welcome global competition with open firms. So here you are and you say, Montana's doing great, we won't have any competition, we won't meet with anybody, we're going to ignore the rest of the world. Well, what's going to happen is they're going to run ahead of you and then you're going to be in trouble because you won't be competitive. You've got to remain globally competitive. In order to do that, you have to avoid the protectionist instincts, which of course we all have, and they only reduce risk for your local economy, but they hold you back. And over the long term, you're in big, big trouble. So I want to finish by saying that it's obvious to me that innovation is the only solution to global growth. Right? This has always been true, and it's truer now than ever. Technology will take things that we know as jobs today, right, creating new opportunities for jobs of humans tomorrow. And the only way to succeed is going to be on scaled network platforms, the kind that I'm talking about. There will obviously be creative destruction in the short term, and in that as more businesses are expected in the network, mediocre ones will be rooted out. Well, welcome to capitalism. But the consequence will be more global economic growth and more job creation in the long term. We know that the world will respond to this interconnectedness that I'm talking about by building stronger network cities, right? And that people who don't do this will have to specialize further to remain relevant. What I would like to be able to say to you is that I believe that it's the same true for joblessness, that the majority of job creation will be within these networks, these trading networks, the platforms that you all are trying to build, and that the impact of technology on all of this is net positive. I can't prove that yet. To finish, let me just say that you're at the beginning of a real opportunity to drive the state forward. You've done a great job getting through the last 5 years. You have all the right seeds, if you will. You have the right attitude. You're well positioned, and with a few policy changes and a little bit of luck, it's going to be a great decade for Montana. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Get your brand awareness package exclusively for global builders, merchants, innovators, and bankers network for sponsoring the Google Innovative Technology Show. Levels: Iridium sponsor, $3 million. Osmium sponsor, $2 million. Platinum sponsor, $1 million. Gold sponsor, $750,000. Silver sponsor, $500,000. Copper sponsor, $250,000. Aluminum sponsor, $100,000. Get your brand awareness package exclusively for Global Montana Contractor Trades Network for sponsoring the Google Innovative Technology Show. Levels: Iridium sponsor, $50,000. Osmium sponsor, $25,000. Platinum sponsor, $15,000. Gold sponsor, $10,000. Silver sponsor, $5,000. Copper sponsor, $2,500 to $1,000. Aluminum sponsor, $500 to $100.
Yes, sir.
Hi. When Kleiner Perkins, Cawthorne, and Bayer assisted Google in moving forward in the late 1998, what steps or what industries, since Google has been on and has been assisting the world, would Google be interested in working with the construction industry of Montana to build a national global network that would create about 40,000 jobs in Montana? The Contractors Information Bureau, I'm telling you this because Kleiner Perkins, Cawthorne, and Bayer, Trey Vassallo contacted us 10 years ago. And it took 10 years to build the infrastructure, 7 here in Montana. And we're curious, how do we get to work with Google to enhance the construction industry here in Montana and abroad in order to create a global marketplace?
There's a tremendous amount of activity now, the construction industry, on sort of electronic markets, e-commerce, and the use of mobile devices. So I would start with saying, what am I selling? What are my plans? I would use Google Maps as all part of that, and I would use that as a marketing activity. So I would start with all of those tools. Construction is crucially dependent upon the capital cycle and the political will to invest in these areas. I think everything that you guys are doing that tries to sort of wire up the world, use existing rights of way, is stuff that we're in favor of and interested in.
Well, could we share something with you?
Give it to Mystique, who's right next to you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Ross Douglas with the Montana Contractors Information Bureau. I'm here to talk briefly about the Google Innovative Technology Show and workshops. The Google Innovative Technology Show is really simple. It's about boosting our state's economy and creating solutions and jobs for Montana, as well as training, education, and innovation. Through these methods, we'll be able to train all of the industries in the Google Innovative Technologies and products. These workshop is the shops are going to be held on weekends, Saturdays across the state, and the workshops will teach you Google Chrome, Google Voice, Google Docs, Google Drive, as well as some of the other Google business services that you can pay for. Will teach you how to use those technologies, as well as creating invoices, spreadsheets, videos for your YouTube, and also for your Google Plus products. So we have a wide variety of technologies that Google has made for our industry to be able to be innovative and creative again. So this summer, we've got a few tips for you contractor trades that might be helpful. And one is to start taking photographs and pictures of your projects, not just the finished projects. A lot of the clients who use the CIB services, they like to see you actually doing the work. Okay? So put your tool belts on and take some photos and some video cameras and to your job sites and record your data. After time, we will show you how you will be able to create assets as well as protect those assets and make those assets work for you. It's all about a gold standard, and work history is the gold standard in construction. So the Google Innovative Technology Show is about training, education, and innovation with the Google products that you know as Google Voice, Google Chrome, Google Drive, Google Earth. There's some more. I hear some people out there. We've got the whole list of Google products and professionals, as well as myself, who have studied and mastered these technologies and want to teach the rest of the industries, but construction specifically, of how to use these Google technologies to create a better economic and workplace disposition for yourself. And by using these technologies, you'll be able to share videos, information about your products, your services, as well as the projects that you've completed. Whether you're in the residential, commercial, industrial, heavy highway, public works, or Department of Defense markets, the Google technologies work whether you're working on a Department of Transportation project, a larger federal project, or a small homeowner project, whatever market that you're working. We have techniques that will show you how to make this work. So please stay tuned and pay attention to Google Innovative Technology Show and workshops. They will be coming to your town, as well as the videos that you can watch online. Thanks again for taking the time to talk about the Google Innovative Technology Show. I'm Ross Douglas, CEO of the Contractors Information Bureau and a member of the Merchant Innovators and Bankers Network, as well as the Montana Contractor Trades Network. We've got a lot in store for the Montana construction industry, and we look forward to seeing you at a later date. Enjoy the show.
Contractors Information Bureau would like to thank Easy On Hold, the provider of the CIB's on-hold marketing messages. We would highly recommend their service for your on-hold system at your company. In fact, they'll even make a sample custom demo for you to hear before you make any investment. Contact Kim Sherry at easyonhold.com, 888-798-HOLD. That's kim.sherry at easyonhold.com. 888-798-4653. Google Innovative Technology Show MCTN sponsor. OfficeMax, Kalispell, Montana is a Montana Contractor Trades Network Silver Plus sponsor. Stop in where OfficeMax can handle all your specialty printing, computer, and office supply needs. Contractor Trades discounts available. For more information, call OfficeMax at 406-755-9588. Google Innovative Technology Show MCTN sponsor. Fast Signs. More than fast, more than signs. With innovative thinking and state-of-the-art technology, Fast Signs of Whitefish, Montana creates impactful, effective signs and graphics that are sure to help raise your business visibility. Whether you need a single banner or large-scale multi-site sign design and installation, count on our experts to deliver the right mix of signs and graphics to bring your business communications to life. Google Innovative Technology Show MCTN sponsor. Advanced LLC communication solutions that work for you. Offering consistent representation while serving the communication needs of today's business client. Our goal is to save your company time and money with expert quality product knowledge and support. For more information, contact Brian Smith at advanced.ws. Google Innovative Technology Show MCTN sponsor, Blackstar Construction, servicing all residential and commercial market sectors. No job is too big or too small for Blackstar Construction, located in the Flathead Valley of beautiful Montana, USA. Call 406-885-2127 and speak with Master Builder Elvis Hilliard about all your construction needs. Google Innovative Technology Show MCTN sponsor, Monarch Renovations. Remove, remodel, and reinvent. At Monarch Renovations, our goal is to provide custom woodworking and general carpentry services at reasonable rates without sacrificing reliability and quality. Master craftsmanship is given to every job as if serving their own family. For more information, call Matt at 406-260-2995. Google Innovative Technology Show MCTN sponsor, All Star Electric. Committed to providing service above the level of expectation. All Star Electric clients expect and receive quality service. At All Star, the highest and most valued award we can receive is a satisfied client. No job is too big or too small. Call the Master Electrician Rasta at 406-480-6742.